Yahoo! Welcome, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to the Aquarian Adepts, my platform, our platform to become your spiritual server. And welcome to the daily reading, the daily energy current for today, Wednesday, October the 31st of 2018. It's Halloween. Happy Halloween. Happy Halloween. Anyways, how are y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today on this happy Halloween? Are you spooked out? Are there specters and ghouls around you? It can feel that way. This has also been a very dreamy time. And there are times where we can get too lost and caught up in our dreams, even if they're fantastical, even if they are in line with our hearts, desires, and wishes. Sometimes we get so caught up in the dream that we can't actually make it manifest. Even though it seems like it's already been manifested. But then there's something to say about experiencing the dream in this physical realm that does seem to make it real. I almost don't even want to look at the cards for today, because there's just so much energy happening, so many major shifts and transitions this week, preparing us for the nodal shift and Jupiter coming home. There's just so much going on this week. I almost rather just channel this. I will talk about the cards and stuff here, but there's just been so many waves of energy coming in. So many waves of energy. And what I'm seeing is that, what I'm seeing with these waves of energy, what I'm almost seeing is like, I'm seeing like a beach here, right? And then there's these waves, these gigantic waves are just kind of flooding in and like crashing in to this little beach town. And what I'm actually seeing is that these waves, they're different colors, you know, it's not just the blue that we see, but they're the whole spectrum of the rainbow. And they're crashing into these houses, but they're not getting washed away. But it's like with each subsequent wave, it's like it leaves behind a seed within each of these houses, and it's like, I don't know, I almost see the houses getting bigger. I see a different kind of structure. I see that these houses have the strength to not get washed away by the waves, no matter how large they may seem, no matter how intense it may seem. I even see some houses completely submerged underwater, and these houses haven't been washed away, they haven't been stripped from their foundation, but it's almost like the house has adapted and now it's become like this little house under the water, and it's like the people are still going about their normal lives, and it's almost like they prepared for it. So this is what I believe this whole transit, the Sun in Scorpio, is teaching us. Of course, the Sun coming over this Venus retrograde spot, you know, will come into its conjunction with Jupiter. Actually, Jupiter would have already shifted, I'm pretty sure, by that time. But covering also the spot where Jupiter retrograded. And of course, you know, squaring the nodes as soon as it entered Scorpio. And covering, of course, the space that Saturn went over several years ago. Wrapping up a lot of these elements about these deeper currents in our reality. And Scorpio, especially right now with all this water energy, because, you know, we have Mercury, well, Mercury just shifted actually. But we have Jupiter here, we have the Sun here, we do have Venus here, but not for very long. We had the Moon in Cancer recently, and then we had Neptune and Chiron over in Pisces. So there's been a lot of water energy. Although there's going to be some shifts, so there's going to be a little bit of that wave and tide's going to pull back today. Because we do have Mercury, which has shifted into Sagittarius, which Mercury is technically at fall in Sagittarius. And I'm probably going to start doing some more videos as far as like talking about like little snippets about what, you know, just kind of like a basic overview of what it means to have planets in certain signs. Because like I hear people talk about astrology and stuff, and at least in my proximity and stuff like that, I still hear most people talk about mainly just the sun sign, which is okay. But there's so much more to explore with this, right? You have a moon sign, Mercury, Venus, etc. And I've met some people, you know, who have heard, of course, of, you know, they know their moon, they know their sun, they know their rising and stuff. People that I've just met in my local community and stuff. But I want to start to bring more of that out, so I'm thinking about just creating like a little series on the channel for what these things can mean. So I actually have my natal Mercury in Sagittarius. That's at 16 degrees of Sagittarius, which I think is just outside the retrograde zone, because I know Mercury is going to retrograde in Sag, and I'm not sure if it's, I have to look at where exactly it is. I'm not sure if it's 13 degrees or if it's somewhere around 16 degrees. So I actually have this position, Mercury in Sagittarius. So that has left, you know, as far as the watery energy. And then of course we also do have Venus, which will be coming back home. And we have Venus, which will be coming back home into Libra, its home sign. It's been in Scorpio, where it's been in fall. So, and like, this is actually going to be really interesting, because I feel like Venus just came out of a really intense, dark story. It's almost like I'm saying like Venus had to be called away to some personal matter, but it was this whole other story, and she had to like leave her queendom, and she had to go and take care of this whole side story essentially. And it's like it was wrapping up loose ends, but there was a final boss and everything like that, and there was some deaths, of course. There were some people that she found out, you know, she felt like she wanted to hold space from them, but she was also going to draw the line, the boundary, and really take care of what she found was valuable. But ultimately, she came out victorious. She came out, you know, unscathed, and now she's finally returning back to the queendom, and everyone's kind of wondering where she's been. She had like her sister fill in, or she had like someone else fill in for her, and she's finally come back. And like, surprisingly, they kept the town cool. Like the queendom almost didn't even know that she was gone. Like most of the common folk, it was really just the court. But she came back, and like her main assistant was like, "Oh my gosh, you're finally back. How are you doing?" And she just like she drops her armor, she drops her bags and all this sort of stuff, and she just goes and is like, "You know, I just need to have a sip of wine right now. I need to, you know," or whatever her fancy is, right? It's like, "I need to just take a moment." And she just goes out to the balcony, like of her room, whatever like that, which oversees the whole queendom. It oversees it, and even sees some of the beautiful nature in the background, and the sun is setting over the ocean, and she's like, "Ah, I made it. I'm here. I'm here." And she's just thankful for that moment. And then like no one disturbs her for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then she comes back in, and then she's like, "All right, I'll tell you my story, but first let's start to, you know, clean up this. Let's start to integrate some of what we learned. Let's start to, you know, move this forward." So then she starts to do that. That's kind of what I see here, the Venus coming back home. So there's going to be a sense of that today, where it's like, we do feel like there's some things that are wrapping up. We do feel like we have been in like this deep review period of our lives and how we feel about things, the psychological nature of things, the psychic nature of things, unraveling a lot of this. And now with the sign of communication, like I said, the planet of communication, the mind, thoughts, Mercury coming into Sagittarius, this is going to be connecting us with a more divine sense of who we are. It's like, I almost like to think of the fire signs as sort of like the signs of, well, you can kind of say that the signs of ego in a sense, but I kind of hesitate to use that word. But it's almost like this sort of divine egg, because even if you think of ego is really, it's really close to the egg. Like it's really close to the word egg. All you really need is that little curve, which is technically sperm. It's definitely sperm, and then it attaches to the O, and then it becomes egg. And here's another thing: if you even look at Leo's symbol, if you look at Leo's glyph, it clearly, at least to me, looks like sperm trying to get into the egg or reach the egg. So I feel like a lot of these things is like, well, definitely all these symbols come together and a lot of things overlap. That's for sure. But as far as the fire signs, I do feel like it is this sort of like it's like it is the internal flame, the fire sign, and each one represents something different, and there is a divinity to it in many ways. There's a great divinity to it. It's like I feel like if anything, Aries is probably more like the divine child. I would say the divine child. I mean, you could say it's Leo. I guess Aries would be more of the divine hero, I guess. And then you have the divine child in Leo, and then you have like divine like God ego itself. You gotta think about it, guys. I'm telling you, the Greeks got a lot of things right. Jupiter, which is Zeus, is Sagittarius, and Zeus was the god of the gods, but Zeus clearly had an ego, clearly. But he was powerful. He wielded lightning. So but he clearly had an ego. So and a lot of times people don't like to think of these beings, gods, goddesses, as having egos and personalities like us. Oh my goodness, yes they do. Why do you think you have one? Where do you think you got that from? How do you think that's reflected? The ego doesn't necessarily disappear. It transmutes. It evolves. That's what it does. Let's talk about these cards real fast though. We have the Ace of Swords and we have the Hierophant. These are backed and sponsored by the Geometry card, the Sacred Geometry card of the Merkaba. As soon as when I was drawing cards, I was really paying attention to this date. I was like, oh, of course, it would happen on Halloween. The frequency of Merkaba supports our ability to use our consciousness to traverse into other layers of reality and dimensions. It activates our access to our Akashic inheritance as well, merging the totality of our experiences into our present to serve our highest purpose. It's the vehicle, the soul. Interlocking is the tetrahedron. So today there's definitely going to be the sense of us traversing cosmic space. You gotta think about sometimes how these things could translate in other dimensions and other ways of looking at it. You can we see a drive to work. Say you live 10 minutes from work, which is awesome for most people. If you live 10 minutes from work, for most people they'll consider that to be the jackpot, right? It's better than sitting in traffic for a long time. Even if you had traffic, it'd probably be 20 minutes. So say you have to drive. You drive to work every 5 days out of the week, and it's 10 minutes from work, or it's 10 minutes from home. That's cool. What if in another dimension though that 10-minute drive translated to light years apart? Just running a hypothetical. It could not too. But what if it did translate to that? And then you have an aspect of yourself that exists in that one spot, and then you travel light years to your job in another galaxy probably, or another area of the galaxy. And just imagine how that could translate. Imagine how that could look like. Imagine the space that's covered in that. We are really time travelers. We are star travelers. We are stars. Because the Merkaba definitely does look like a star. I mean, it is the 6-pointed star. I actually have a copper Merkaba, and I've been examining it, and I'm just going oh, it's actually kind of nice to actually have one in person to see it like this. And I'm noticing things about the Merkaba that I'd never noticed before, actually. So it's really interesting. And I think today really is going to be a day where it does feel like we're just traveling. And it's perfect because with Mercury coming into Sagittarius, and not only that, but the moon will be coming into Leo, so we kind of get this kick up of fire suddenly today, where it's now we're going to be more emotionally we're going to be more reacting and responding to matters of Leo and the heart, matters of what we're passionate for, we're going to be more driven to, sort of build a kingdom or a queendom, right? Whatever that looks like for us. And then we're going to be communicating that with the gods. Really, I like to think of Mercury and Sagittarius as a lot of times we are kind of having to shut up, and then we're kind of having to listen to what they have to say. That's why Mercury probably doesn't like to be here. Mercury rather be speaking with everyone else down here. But when Mercury when Mercury comes into Jupiter, I like to see it as the messenger of Hermes, kind of just sitting with the gods and kind of just writing down everything that they say. Just kind of writing down everything that they say, and not really putting their input in. Not really him putting much of his input in. He might do a little bit, but he's like literally just writing down what Zeus is telling him, so he can take that message. When of course coming down the mountain in Capricorn, then he's able to spread it about the people and stuff, and then it comes back around. So, and that's actually it's really important to actually pay attention to that, because we have the Ace of Swords, which speaks to speaking your truth. Ace of Swords does speak to you speaking, what you know is true. Sometimes it's hard to know what is true. That's why we have the Hierophant here. And there can be this confusion on who to trust, because the Hierophant in many ways represents the Pope. And Pope acts as that bridge between, human and God, spirit. But we all can be that. We all can be that bridge. We all can be the receiver. We are the receiver. We are the transmitter, the one that, that picks it up. We are the receiver, we receive the message. We are the transmitter. We also are the producer of that frequency as well. So we're really just trying to speak to higher aspects of ourselves. We're really just speaking to ourselves. Because this voice, to speak in this way, it does echo. It echoes and echoes and echoes and echoes and echoes and echoes and echoes. And sometimes we think no one can hear this. Sometimes it feels like no one's listening. Sometimes it feels like God, whatever you want to call it, God, Goddess, Spirit, Source, Consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes it feels like it's not listening. Sometimes it feels like it's not listening. That really depends, honestly, if you're speaking your truth. Because if you're speaking your truth, your voice will go far. Even if people here don't necessarily, even if people in the 3D physical dimension don't necessarily hear it first, it will travel really far out there. How do you think your guides come to you? How do you think? Because you're ready. Because they can feel it. And it's, if you're not speaking your truth, it doesn't go very far, right? It doesn't, it's a little bit more contracted. And then there's so much darkness and toxins that we're having to purify right now within human consciousness. So what's it going to attract? It's going to attract those most shadow sides of people's consciousness. And we're going to start attacking each other. But really, this is all just an illusion. And so you can be that bridge to spirit. Now, I think there are certain people that do have a predisposition to be more of an oracle type person. Suns in 12th houses, 8th houses, 4th houses. I would say that. Even people who have, of course, even a lot of fire energy as well, because they'll be able to see. Water's more of a feeling. But that doesn't mean that, you can't be that bridge too. Even if you're someone who has a lot of earth energy, and you don't have much water, or you don't have much fire energy, you still can be that bridge. You still can be that bridge. If anything, being Earth actually it has its advantages too, because then you can tap into the Gaia frequency, and then you can understand more of the whole Gaia-Uranus aspect and how they are actually renewing their vows right now. That's what Uranus and Taurus is. It's actually the renewal of the vows between the sky god Uranus and Gaia. Bet you didn't know about that, huh? Today is going to be another one of those days where it just seems like there's just, right now what's happening is that we can feel that there's going to be this major shift. And right now it's like we're getting faster and faster and faster. So every day this week is going to feel like another shift forward, and we're going to be going faster. But the interesting thing is that once then like I said, the nodal shift happens, and once Jupiter comes on, we're actually going to do a hyper jump. We haven't even hyper jumped yet, guys. We're just taking another step, and each step this week, every day this week, is going to feel like it's probably twice as fast as the day before. So much information coming through, an influx. You know what I mean? And there's going to, and I don't want to like worry you guys about that. Everything will be all right. Of course, you know, do your breathing exercises. I would encourage you to take time to meditate this week, today. You know, to write things out, to just take time to relax. You know, Venus is coming home, so there's going to be definitely this sense of, you know, you wanting to take care of yourself. So even though it's going to be a lot of energy coming through, a lot of waves, a lot of shifts, a lot of change, a lot of transformation, a lot of death, a lot of rebirth, you will be able to handle it because we do value. You're going to come back into valuing taking care of yourself and believing in yourself. Believing in yourself. That's very much so. Mercury coming in, the Sagittarius, and also, of course, you know, Venus coming back home. Believing in yourself. Yourself is yourself is so much more vast than who you are or who you are labeled by. It's so much more vast. Yourself is so much more vast than you can realize. So you can believe in that other aspect of you, of yourself. That is more resonant with you. That's going to bring you closer to manifesting that dream, that reality. Actually manifesting it. Believe in yourself. You got this. You got this. I know, it seems like a lot of energy is flowing through. This one's going a little bit longer. I think a lot of it is because when I do this, it's therapeutic for me to do this as well, for myself, because I'm able to kind of talk myself through what's going on. And then I'm pretty much just live channeling it to you all, and I want to provide this for you, because I want y'all to because we're all in this together, right? So, I mean, you could do this too, you know? You don't have to do it like this, but you can do this too. And I really believe that anyone can, you know, be that bridge, because we all are a bridge. We all are a bridge, and we all have this beautiful vehicle that we are upgrading to. You know, we're upgrading the actual physical human body to handle the energy increase, to handle the vibrations and the increasing of our awareness and consciousness. We're having to upgrade the physical human body as well as having to adapt. So that's a part of what you're also feeling. The physical body not being able to. It almost feels like a lot of the energy coming through is like overloading the human physical body, and we're having to adapt to this new wave. But you are strong. You are far stronger than you give yourself credit for. And I want you to know that. You really are. To everyone who is going through some type of difficulty, some type of battle that is hidden, and that's what's going on too. We're going through battles with other people, but each and every one of us is fighting a hidden battle right now. Hidden from everyone. Hidden from every single person that you see. There's a hidden battle going on. But I want you to know that you are strong. I want you to know that you are strong. And that battle will come to an end. It will come to an end. And you will be okay. And you will make it out. You will integrate. And you will understand why that battle took place in the first place. And something new will be reborn in its place. Something new will be reborn in its place. Know that you are okay. Know that you are amazing. You can do this. I know I'm kind of just going into a bit of a pep talk here, but I just feel called to do that. I know this video's gone a little bit longer than usual. That's okay, right? That's okay. You're okay. That is it for your reading today, my beautiful brothers and sisters. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And we'll be uploading videos pretty much throughout the day. My plan is to actually at least film the rest of the horoscopes. I don't know if I'll get them all posted today. The goal is to film them all. Then I have one other video I want to make where I'm doing more of an official announcement of the NaNoWriMo that I'm doing this year. I'm really excited for it, and it's about astrology, so I'm going to reveal more about what that is about later, more about what the story is about. But the theme is astrology, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, it's Halloween. Y'all have an incredible, amazing, beautiful day. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate the views, the likes, the shares. I really do. It's been such an incredible journey doing this video, making and really uncovering more of who I am and my purpose and stuff. And it's multifaceted. It's really awesome, but it's an incredible journey, and you all are a part of it, and I'm so very grateful for that and thankful for it. Yeah, get out this video and stuff. Let you guys go about your day and stuff. I will be running a promo as well, an extra promo, so I'll post that in the description below. But always remember, my beautiful brothers and sisters, to keep moving forward, to stay focused, and Yahoo! Smile often.